Um, but yes, we've talked about it, and I'm not sure if it's on Netflix.
I don't know where
But
it is, but if you
I also
look
have
up the app
Prime.
that I sent you, no, there's another one. They flagged it. There's another one. It's called like,
Oh, the one.
yeah.
Okay.
Um, but everything's on there. Like brand new movies that just came out are on there. Harry
Yeah,
Potter's
it's
on
like
there. Like everything. So I found
those
on there.
boxes. I used to do Cody. Cody was the one that I used to use. Android box stuff. Oh, kitten.
Oh shoot.
Ashley's got the kitten.
Oh,
He
it's like
doesn't have a
literally.
name. His owners call him Baby Cat. They rescued him.
Oh,
Somebody threw him out of a car window while driving.
Oh,
So that's so messed up.
I
I
want to
used
go
to.
throw them out of a car window while driving, but two wrongs don't make it right. Whoever threw the kitten out of the window.
I know. It's like who would do that? But he goes home today, so I'm just
Oh, how
letting
sweet.
him have some interaction because he's been a little vocal. But oh, okay, so frequency, after we talked about it last week, I did look it up. It's on YouTube for free, but it's with
Oh,
Johnny
cool.
Depp, not Dennis Quaid. And I was like, is this the right one? Because there's a movie called Frequencies, and then there's also Frequency.
No, Frequency is Dennis Quaid. Is it Dennis Quaid and Caviezel? I never know how to pronounce his name. Jim Caviezel, something like that. But it's Frequency with the Y.
Yeah, right? Isn't Frequency with a Y? Frequency.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Frequency with
Here,
an
look,
I.
I'm gonna share my screen and I'll show you guys.
Then
Okay.
there's translucence or trans oh shit. There was one with Johnny
Oh,
Depp where he's
you're
uh
right.
Transcendence. Transcendence.
Transcendence. I
Yeah.
watched the wrong one. Sorry.
Transcendence
Yeah.
was really good. I actually I've only watched the first part of Transcendence. I didn't make it all the way through it when I did try to watch that one, but I don't remember why.
It
Whether
was
it would
a
be my
little, yeah, it got a little weird towards the end. So, yeah, it was okay. I mean, it's about consciousness, but
yeah.
Johnny like takes the wrong turn. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
probably why you turned it off.
yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, it ended up I can't remember why I ended up stopping watching it, but I just remember going, well, this wasn't what I was expecting, and away I went. So
Th This is the movie.
Okay, from
Jim
2000.
Caviezel. I don't know how to say that, but yeah,
I
it's
definitely
named as
haven't
like
seen that
sci-fi
one.
slash something else, but I'm gonna stop
Sure.
sharing. That was just to show you what it looks like.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's basically because I
Right?
was just talking to another friend of mine about that because she was talking about time, and I was like, well, time is a human construct, and then she was explaining it, and then I was talking about that movie. I brought it up again about how because basically his father had passed, and then he found like his old like CB radio or something because he used to be a cop, and so he's an adult with in his timeline, his dad has passed, and he was able to connect with his dad from like the past
Hmm.
and like try to figure out if he could like bring him back if essentially he hadn't died yet on his timeline. And like anyways, it's really it's interesting like watching movies and stuff like this like this and Harry Potter like with like where I'm at now in my spiritual journey, right? Because I'd seen that movie as 2000, so I saw that movie 25 years ago, and I was like, oh cool, sci-fi, like whatever, whatever. And then now like thinking about it, and then like the stuff that happened with Laura, like the day when I was listening to her voice message, and at the same time she said, oh my God, purple car, and in my timeline listening to her say that, I was like, oh my God, look at that car. Like as we were driving past. Obviously it wasn't the same car, but I'm like, it wasn't even the same time. Like she's 2 hours behind me. But like literally both things were happening at the same time for both of us, yet different times. And so I'm just like, that's wild, you know?
Yes.
But yeah. So anyways, super cool.
It's kind of like that movie I heard
Um,
Matt Damon and
it's
Emma
yeah,
You know what I'm talking about? What is it called? I actually haven't seen it yet. Um, what's her name? She's married to John Krasinski. Oh, Emily Blunt, and Matt Damon.
Mm.
And look it up.
And apparently there's a whole series of movies like that by the same, not the same director, but they're a series, they're not connected. So I don't know why I'm saying series, but they're a group of movies that are based off of the books written by this guy that it's all about like time travel and
Oh, Oppenheimer,
no, not Oppenheimer.
The Adjustment Bureau.
The Adjustment Bureau. Yeah.
Hmm, I haven't
And
seen that one.
there's yeah, I haven't either, but there's other movies that fall into the category of Adjustment Bureau, and they're all based off of this guy's books.
Oh wow, I love that. We don't watch a ton of movies. And if we do, it's something like, oh, here's another kitty. Like Matrix, and we're watching like Harry Potter, and like I don't just watch movies randomly for. Hi, Oli.
I was almost
That goes
tempted to
pretty
watch Harry
dated.
Potter after you guys talked about it last week because I haven't watched it either. Like I remember my sister maybe watched the first one when it came out, and that was when it was on VHS still. And I fell asleep because I was like, I don't know what this is, but I fell
Wow.
asleep. I wasn't interested then. So, and I think I've caught clips of whatever the latest one is. Um,
Oh, Deathly Hollows.
I think so. Yeah. I only say I think it's the last one because you could tell the kids are a little bit grown up.
Growing up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was the same way. Like everybody was up in arms about it, and like I knew people that like literally would like, pitch a tent outside the movie theater the night before it comes out, like the whole thing. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
I wasn't that bad. I'm like,
And I
no, that
was
was me.
like,
I'm like, no, 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 I wasn't that bad. I never pitched tents to go to the movie theater. I don't even think I actually seen any of them in the theater. I was very proficient at waiting for them to come out on video
mm,
and watching them on video. Um, but I did read all the books numerous times, and I do believe we have first edition somewhere uh,
nice.
within my sister's space. Uh, it's interesting talking about like the car thing because I told Amber about
Mm,
this on Sunday. Sunday night we're making dinner and we had our generator running and stuff. So we're like, Brandon was like, I think I want a coffee. And and then realized that it was like 8 o'clock at night. And he's like, yeah, probably not the best idea. And we settled for hot chocolate. 5 minutes into like making dinner, we found there's like this beatbox group. What are they called? What is a beatbox? What are they called? The beatboxers?
Beat
Wings?
Pella.
Beat Pella.
Beat Pella. Yeah,
And
that's their group name.
yeah, and they're really really good. And I've
Really
like really they do everything with their mouths for their like instrumentation of everything, like very 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 good. They're from Korea. And he's like, at the end of our dinner, just about being ready, he goes, oh, they've released a new song. He plays the song and it starts with, I want coffee. I and coffee, I want coffee, I want coffee, I want coffee. And he's like, I was like, oh my God, if you had listened to this when we first started dinner, I said, you probably would have had the coffee. And he's like, you're right, I probably would have. And then we looked at when it was released. It was released at the time we started dinner.
wow.
I'm like, you just can't make this shit up.
Wow. You know, it's strange. I'm usually the last person to get into like tech. Like I was the last person to get a smartphone. And during the pandemic, I finally got like a TV. And shortly after that, I got an Echo Dot so that I could like tell Alexa to play music, whatever. And she's like my alarm. I got it because I was working with a sleep therapist, and the sleep therapist was like, remove any phones from your room. Don't have any like clocks on display. So I thought, okay, I'll just have an Echo Dot. And sometime like I want to say like 2 or 3 months ago, this Echo Dot's been playing music to wake me up instead of my alarm tone. And I swear they're like messages. And I don't know what happened. I don't even know how to change the setting off because I don't know how it got turned on in the first place because it didn't used to play music before. And this morning it was you know that song knock knock knocking on heaven's door. I was like, oh, this is so like, I don't know. It just put it like set the morning right. It set the day right. And it's been doing this for a few months and I can't make sense of it. But yeah, it's so interesting, these things that just like show us randomly.
I would.
Yeah, I don't know if you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I would look at the lyrics. 'Cause that hasn't literally happened to me in the sense of like music's played in the outside world, but my clear audio will come through with the song a lot. Like I'll wake up and I'm like, zippity doo dah or like whatever. And so I'm like, literally, that was one of the songs. I'm like, okay. And so I'll go and because sometimes the message isn't always in. Sometimes it is in the literal lyric that it's playing because mine, doesn't play a whole song, but sometimes other times it's to prompt me to read the lyrics of the song and then the message is in there. So that would be my suggestion is to just look up the lyrics because maybe like, knocking on heaven's door, like that specific sentence isn't the message, but maybe something within the lyrics are the message. Um,
100%. And
That'd
I
be my
was
suggestion
thinking
is look
about
up the
that.
whole thing and read it and then see if something resonates with you within that.
I literally thought I should look up the lyrics to this because the first time it happened, I did do that, and I was like, "What?" And it was playing these like Motown songs, um, and it was all about, and some of the songs I'd heard before, but it was all about like peace and love and forgiveness, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, like this is what I've been like working on." So
Mhm.
it's so fascinating. Oh my gosh, sorry, Kitty is stepping on keyboard. Um, she gave a thumbs up. Good job. I'm
There we
saying
go.
he. It's a he. I don't know why I keep saying. Oh no, I don't
Hands up. It's all right. You can just talk.
know. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna look up the lyrics. And like one of the other songs this week, it played like Jack Johnson's Banana Pancakes, and I used to love that song. I played it all the time in college, and it's just one of those songs that like makes me feel really good and like
Mhm.
gives me all the warm and fuzzies. So yeah, there's something going on. I'm like, how do I turn this thing off? And I'm like, well, actually, I kind of like it. I'm not I'm just gonna leave it.
That is so cool.
Just
So
for it. Absolutely. In my manifestation the class thing that I did yesterday on Facebook, if you get a chance to check it, there's a even if you watch like the last 15 minutes of the recode, like that was like the most thing that I was like most excited to do for people is that recode. But it came up because there's this girl I follow on TikTok and I just love her to pieces. Like she's got this like wild energy. She's just so authentically her that you can't help but just love her. At least for me, that's how it is for me. It's kind of like um and she does these manifestation things where and it's like basically the repeat, and it's like know what you want, make it, like ask, but just or not even knowing what you want, just asking the universe to show you that, like to give you a sign and stuff, and to be in there and like, universe, just give me a sign that everything that I want is coming to fruition, like make it a solid sign that I can't miss, and that makes it fun and exciting, that I know is coming from you. And I did her one, and it was like, she's like, watch for a sunflower. And so that day our car broke down and we're walking through Kelowna, where normally I always see sunflowers wherever we go in Kelowna. I didn't find one. However, the song that was playing in my head the entire day was Post Malone's Sunflower. And
Mhm.
it just kept saying, "You're a sunflower," and I'm just like, "I'm a sunflower. I'm a sunflower. I'm a sunflower." I'm like, "Is that your sign? Like, is it this, like this my manifestation, my clair audio, like the excitement?" Because I was like, "Oh, you're I'm like, okay, because I know like Amber, I get the same thing. I'll wake up and like there'll be a lyric in my head, and and the late one, and I keep thinking, well, it can't be because I'm always listening to the song, but it's Wildfire by Tom McDonald has been the one that I've been continually waking up to recently. And then there's a lot of Abel Hart that I wake up to. So I'm like, well, I probably just listened to that, but I haven't even listened to him in a couple days. So for the fact that it's like coming up in my head, I was like, oh, I'll go back and listen to that again. But yeah, it was Sunflower by Post Malone. And I'm like, well, when was the last time I heard that song? And I'm like, I don't even know. And then the next day, on Sunday, I guess, when did a car break down? Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. So Sunday, I wake up and it was Saturday all day that Sunflower song played in my head. And I wake up on Sunday with the realization that, oh, I didn't get my Sunflower yesterday. And then the song played in my head again. And I'm like, are you like, is this what you're telling me? And I flip on Facebook, and for the first time ever, Post Malone is on my Facebook feed. And I'm like, you're funny. So yeah. That's kind of it's interesting because her videos were kind of like the first inspiration, like when I realized that all of my little manifestations that I've asked for, whether they be like numbers or colors or symbols. I have balloons on my phone because one of the ones that I did first was like balloons, and she's like, yeah, watch for hot air balloons or balloons, like, and I didn't see a balloon all day long, and I was so disappointed. And I was like, oh, you know what, I'm going to change my home screen. I'm like, I'm not really liking my home screen. And these balloons were free. They regular like $5, and they were free. And I was like, I found my balloons. So they're still on my home screen for my
I love
for my
that.
phone.
I heard
And when
Bashar say, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, when people don't think their manifestations are coming true, especially those little ones, they're not opening their eyes beyond their expectations. So it's, literally having no expectations of where that manifestation is going to take place from, and allowing it just to kind of, happen. But yes, I'm excited to hear what you've seen from Bashar, because he's
Love
got my
Bashar.
attention lately.
I go through phases. I was like heavily into Bashar, and then I kind of like took a break. I'm still kind of like on a break from him, but he said, I want to say it was Bashar, it could have been somebody else, but he said that sorry, my phone. He said that sunflowers have really good healing properties because of the way that, you know how like the sunflower has that big circle in the middle?
Where the seeds are.
Yeah, where the seeds are. And there's like a Fibonacci spiral that happens in that circle. But he said like just having sunflowers around you is like really good. It's like a healing property, which I thought was
Oh,
interesting and fascinating. But I
Wow.
that's what I thought of when I heard you say that. And it's weird because along with the manifestation stuff, I don't know why I keep going to AI for this. AI's kind of been like my buddy lately. But I was
what
asking
happened?
because I see angel numbers, and I haven't quite like studied numerology, but I know what angel numbers are, and like, you can always Google what an angel number means. But I also see my birth date, like the month and the date, all the time, like when I look at clocks and
So
stuff. And I'm like,
sorry, I
what?
didn't, like, so excited. I can't hold back. Sorry, keep talking.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
hold the thought.
I'll be quick.
I
Um,
think that your internet's off. So like when you start to talk, it's like
I'm
past. Yeah, like if
probably
we
lagging a little bit,
yeah.
but
That's why I think because we're like who's talking.
yeah, there's a little delay. Okay, I'll be quick. So it's like it's this weird, we've been talking in Yuki's group about contrast. So my birth date is 8-2-6, and 2 + 6 is 8. So it's a double 8. And when I looked that up, it was like freedom, abundance, entrepreneurship, you love independency, you love to travel, like all these things. And it's true, like that resonates deeply with me. But the season that I'm in now, opposite. And it's been driving me berserk and almost kind of like depressed sometimes because I'm like, oh, I can't travel like I used to because I don't, the money hasn't been flowing like it used to, when I used to have a job and like, all these things. And I was like, because it was saying, do you want to know more about your life path number? And I was like, well, I don't want to put my year because, like, I don't know, I was feeling like information sensitive online. And it even said back, and I just thought that I didn't say it. It literally responded with, if you're feeling a little unsure about providing your your birth year,
Wow.
just add up the numbers and provide your life path number, and we can give you an explanation. Something it
Wow.
didn't word it exactly like that. So I did that. And it said the combination, so the life path number I have is 5. And so the combination with 5 and 8 is like super powerful. It said that I am a manifester, that I have like leadership qualities, which I feel like I do, but I'm like at the bottom here right now. Like I feel very stuck. So, and it even said that too. It's like when you feel like you're not expressing these qualities, like you feel stuck basically. And I'm like, well, son of a gun, that is where I am. Anyway, go ahead, Laura. I'll be quiet now.
No, I was just so excited, and then the ADHD kicks in, and then I'm like, don't forget, don't forget, don't forget. But I don't want to stop listening to what you're saying. Don't want to forget what was coming through. So that's the welcome to my brain, and that's what the lovely version of me that isn't. I apparently haven't had a chance to meditate and ground today, so you're welcome to the version of me that is ADHD oriented. So I apologize in advance if I'm cutting you off. It is literally just I know that ADHD is going to kick in, and I'm not necessarily going to get out what I want to get out, and that's perfectly okay too. I don't always have to talk. But your angels, angels are getting your attention with your birth numbers. So yes, you are finding all of your perfect qualities, which is amazing. However, there is a list of angels. Thank you.
What?
Just the pile of smoke that just clouded my whole vision here and took my train of thought. um, your angels come through in those numbers. So when you look up your birth numbers, when you go back to your AI conversation, ask what angels are associated with your birth numbers.
Mm.
You'll end up with the guardian angel that came to you at birth, that has been with you, and that is only yours and yours alone. Mine is Daniel. So I say that yours and yours alone, but like they literally, there's only so many angels, but like there can be also your main angel that is like your family or your ancestor that is yours and yours alone. The other angels we kind of all share, but so there's Daniel, Azrael, I don't know how to say the other one. It's like Zad, I think it's Zadkiel.
That killed.
But yeah, there's a list of 3 that come through. And they're like, they're the ones that like are always there when you beckon. So that's like they're like your angels are yelling at you. They want you to know what your specific 3 are that are coming through for you within those numbers. So yes,
Wow.
it's like the angel numbers. It also, like gives you a lot of the things and really can give you a lot of insights to, like you said, where you're feeling stuck and what could be part of the energies. The moon is closer to the planet than it's been and then it will be in the next 43 years. Sun, same thing, are so it's kind of in that breath. And so that again elevates all of that extra energy. So if you can keep yourself in a positive energy, elevating, and
Mm.
recognize that energy, that heavy energy, and just find a way to flip it into creative ways to feel like that abundance is still flowing.
Mm.
Take a short trip, take yourself out, even just outside of town, somewhere that like feels far away, and allow that energy to envelope you so you feel like you've gone on a huge trip, and allowing that energy just to elevate you. That will take you through and even take you into a space, and in that space, hands up, I'm open to receive, I'm open to allow the energy flow. I know that I'm worthy, I don't have to work hard for this, because those are
Mm.
some of the old patterns that start to really
Right.
stir up in the moments where we're making these shifts into working our soul purpose and doing our purpose work. And we've been programmed to believe that we have to do a physical job, we have to do physical labor, we have to be doing constantly to be worthy of the money to come in. And so the encouragement to break free of those patterns is very strong. However, like we tend to still tend to get stuck in that cycle, right? Where it's like we have to work hard, we're not doing enough. And like I mean I feel fairly balanced. Like I'll still test out the waters because I haven't been going, I mean, other than like my guides like downloaded everything that I shared yesterday was like downloads. And I mean, like so to the point where I was like, guys, I'm tired. Can I sleep while you do this? Like because 3 a.m. First time at 3 a.m. I was like snap awake, and all of a sudden I was like all of this information, and I'm like, okay, I'm super excited too, but we got 5 days. Can we wait? You know, like can you like you know, I know the information is there. Thank you. Like, can I sleep now? I'm like super tired. I go to sleep and I dream about the doing it, and I ended up doing it in my sleep, and and I'm just like, this isn't quite what I meant, but thank you, I think, you know. So um you know, sometimes our guides and our angels can get just as excited as we get, you know, as those connections get developed. And I think that's where my excitement just came through, because you're recognizing the numbers and they're like, oh, she is seeing them, okay, you know, she's almost there, she needs like just that one more step, like look us up, you know, so she knows who we are. So she, you know, because that opens and allows that line of communication and really starts to increase that. Like my dragons, these guys, like
Oh, cool.
unreal. The card pulls. I pulled a card for Jan on Sunday after we got done his class. And you know how during his class he said that he was like worried about doing well for his animals and for the dogs, and he was really scared. The dragon that came out for him was the golden yellow dragon that is to take care of animals. And I'm like, you can't make this shit up.
Oh, that's perfect. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's so crazy because, okay, I also relate to the ADHD brain. I have not been diagnosed with that, but that's my mind. It goes a mile a minute. And it's the same with the writing. I'm like, I can't keep up with it. It's too fast. So the moon, you said the moon and the sun are closer than they've ever been. And I was just thinking that this morning, like, I think the moon had me, I was in a funk yesterday. Like I canceled actually this whole weekend. That's why I didn't make Jan's call and my call with Lynn yesterday, because I was like, I think I just need a moment. I just need, like, I was in a funk. And I know when I'm in a funk is when I start to numb and anyway, so I was doing that yesterday and I was like, is the moon in like whatever phase it's in? Like, is this affecting me? Is it because tomorrow's going to be the first of another month? Like, you know, all these things. Um, oh my gosh, but what were you saying? I knew I should, yeah, like you, I need to write, I put like mental bookmarks, but then I need to actually like write it down because I'm,
So what I find, and like I said, like I'm ungrounded this morning, and I mean, and I ran through my tools, but literally I just I don't even know what it is. Like yesterday after my class, all of a sudden I felt that bodily contrast. Okay, like I was super excited. I made it through the class. Everything was great. I was enjoying the day. We did some cleaning, and then all of a sudden, like, and I know it's, I don't know if somebody from my mother's side watched the video and reacted to it, or there's resistance within somebody that's watched it, but instantly all the way up my, like my right side of my neck, which I'm backwards. Okay, so when I talk about, a lot of people will say your feminine energy is on your left side, your masculine is on your right. I mirror image everything, so everything that I read is always right, but it's always backwards. So like my mom's side, and I got like this pain up my neck, and I'm like, Mom, my uncle probably watched it. I was expecting to wake up being called the devil again, which is, you know, I'm getting used to that and fine. But there's this pain up my neck and my head, and it literally, like, I drank salt water, which really helped the headache. And so that does actually really work. I was giving that advice out and it actually does really work. So I'm glad that it was right. I just guided information, right? So I just give it without thinking, and then I'm like, oh, I don't actually know if that works. So I tried it and it does work. Um, but I was all of a sudden just super tired, and like this pain in my head, and like that bodily contrast like really took place. So I wasn't, and I kept working through the grounding, and then I woke up and it sounded like I had a million people in my head this morning. So I know that I did run my grounding tools, but I also know that this lingering, whatever is going on with my family right now that needs to be solved, is still lingering. Because there is still like just waves of it. It's not like consistent anymore. Like um I've been present, and I've done all my calls this morning that I was, set up, and then, I followed through being there, showing up for me, showing up for my calls. Um, but there's still, all of a sudden, there'll be like this whoosh through my head. So grounding and like both above and below, calling in like divine energy and grounding into to source, but from your root chakra, not just your feet chakra, but from your root chakra, imagining like either colors or like beams of light, whatever light feels comfortable. I use a tree because lights just weren't doing it for me. That's how I met Archangel Uriel, was through a tree and grounding, and just allowing that flash. And that has quieted my mind so much. So it's not as, I still write everything down, um, and whatnot, but I can keep my mind at a slower pace by allowing that grounding to take place. So, but yeah, I know we were somewhere in the midst of discussing that ADHD brain as the thought went that way. I'm like, hopefully this kind of brought you back to what you wanted to say. But yeah, that can be a way to kind of, that's how I keep it in control. Like that, like I said, like welcome to an ADHD day for me, because like I am not grounded completely yet. I know that there is a little bit of grounding happening, like the whoosh in my head is gone, but I can also feel my thoughts all of a sudden just bing, bing, bing. And I'm just like, slow down.
Yeah, I totally relate. And before this call, I lit this candle. I don't know if you can see it. It's
Oh yeah,
called,
is
this
work
is my
work
work
from
from
home.
home candle.
Oh my gosh, cute. Oh yeah.
And I set the intention because I was in the funk yesterday, because you messaged me, Amber, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna plan to be on this call. But I was still kind of in my hazy funk when I woke up this
Yeah.
morning, and I was like, don't cancel. Just like get the energy, like drink some tea, like do what you gotta do to get going. And so I'm glad I didn't, talk myself out of it. But which is like the power of accountability here. So that's great. But
Yeah.
I did remember, Laura, as you were saying. First, one thing here, see, this is my brain going. Salt apparently, what I heard is it absorbs negative energy, and so it like protects you. So like that makes sense that would have helped your headache. And I was thinking about, I'm still thinking about that post that you made about like what is my why? Like what is my definiteness of purpose? That's what Napoleon Hill calls it in As a Man Thinketh. And I used to be so clear. I used to be so clear. Like if you ask me when I was 18, like all the way through my 20s, like I knew I could tell you 1 year goal, 5 year vision, 10 year vision. And now it's just like, I don't, I don't, I don't know. I gotta surrender because like I don't know anything anymore. Like I can't plan things out anymore. Life is just life and just roll with the punches is kind of like my thing. But it's also making me feel lost
Yeah.
and confused. So yeah, anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I could probably talk about more stuff because now whatever you got going on, Laura, is like transmitting to me, like I'm picking it up somehow. So it's a good thing though.
Yep. The definite purpose is huge. Like Napoleon Hill was where I kind of started this journey. So it was really interesting to see Yuki kind of get into it. Like since I've talked a lot about Napoleon Hill, like in some of his classes and stuff, and that was who I brought up. And then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, I'm reading this," and "Oh, I've checked out Outwitting the Devil," and I've checked out Think and Grow Rich, and I'm just like, yeah, right? Because that's literally where, So when you say like definiteness of purpose, yep, that's exactly what I started, and it's interesting because so Uh, this was where I started. Like this was my first one. This was my second one. And they're all very similar, okay? So they are not like way off base, but they just become more and more clear and precise as I wrote them. So these 20 all 24, okay. So then they turn into two-page monsters in 2025 because they include the definite plan as well as the definite purpose. How will I reach my purpose? And not in taking out the hows, just what I can do that I've been guided to do. Like as the guidance has come in, I've put them down on paper. So it wasn't like this is specifically what I know I need to do. No, I know I can give readings to people. So I will continue to elevate with readings. I will continue to create and do recodes and timeline therapy and just allow people and my energy and holding space for people to heal, and elevating with my tools and that kind of thing, right? So there hasn't been any like I will specifically help like 55 people and do 35 this, like there's but there's like specificity in the I will utilize my tools um to share my knowledge and elevate people into their gifts and align with their soul purpose. And that's kind of like the premise. And then there's is specificity in like, I want to make $150,000 a month. Why I want to make that amount, to help the homeless and to elevate others, to share, to be able to live comfortably and in my power. So I'm not struggling because in my struggle, I can't help many people. And, like, so there's, so in starting, I started with, like, I'll read you my very first one. It was like, I, Laura Lynn Danielson, will give meaningful value, being of service to humanity and the earth in excess of millions of dollars per year, having and maintaining 3 or more businesses that help others heal, shift into a creative and happy life full of love, providing value to the world, and make $50,000 per month or more each for the rest of my life. I'll never have less than $10 million saved so I can retire comfortably, give back to my family, and easily provide my services to others from 2024 onward. When I die, my business will be passed down to my niece. I will live the way I please, creating inner happiness, harmony, and well-being. I'll render the best help I am able from now until I die, for the good of all, harming none. And like,
That's
you know,
beautiful.
like it was just very, to me, it felt very general at that point because I mean, I didn't know what my services were going to be. I didn't know um how we don't get to know the hows, right? That's the part we have to let go of, is the hows. So just knowing that I wanted to be of service to the planet, of service to others, and start to elevate others, because like all of that came from my pain lifting. All of that came from like I was wanting to end my life, to my pain is gone now, I want to take pain away from other people. And I can do it in like not just like, oh, change your mental state and you'll feel better. I literally was like, I didn't believe in the process. The process took my pain. Okay, folks better be listening. Like kind of that state of confidence. But that state of confidence comes a year after practicing, elevating myself, learning my gifts, learning how to incorporate the energy work and reading the energy into the recode and into that, the stuff like, because that all came from Chris Duncan. Like Chris Duncan saved my life. However, he didn't provide opportunity for me to work with him further than his free classes. There was no no sway to him to allow me a payment plan that that was going to allow me to work in his space. So I ended up finding, I started going down rabbit holes of magnetic marketing, the full-time purpose guys from YouTube. I've been in 3 of their full-time purpose belief things, and just to see if I've missed anything. And then I found Jen, who helped me learn my gifts and elevate me into my mastery of energy work. And then found Yuki, who again took me into the embodiment, because where I knew all of this and I was experiencing the energy and I was seeing it, I wasn't embodying it. I wasn't able to feel it. So she really elevated, sorry, Yuki, he's really elevated me into a space of that embodiment of all of the work that I put in. And like for that, I will forever be in his energy because he is absolutely great. I do have a question, Ashley. What element are you?
Earth.
Earth? Okay, it's
Which
interesting.
it is interesting because I'm drawn to water and I love water.
Yeah, me
What
too.
does it say? Aqua, what does it say? Aqua, hold on, my screen.
Aquamarine dragon from Neptune.
Oh, cool.
So
This,
So when you said Earth, I was like, okay. And I'm like, but I tingled because I was like, okay, maybe this was some, but I tingled, so I was like, I know what's coming next. That this dragon is fully for you. So okay, so when this is kind of what happens on our first incarnation, we are born with a dragon. They are actually in the same frequency as our archangels, and they are actually elevated by each other. So our archangels and our dragons are in existence together on the same frequency, and they elevate each other and they work together to help guide us. There's more dragons than archangels, so they're there to kind of elevate and to help each other. Your earth dragon, I believe that you were you were a water sign up until this incarnation. So in this incarnation, you've come in as an earth sign, but before this, you were probably water sign all the way through. And then whatever needed to shift for you in this lifetime, whatever you chose to come and experience, needed to be in the next in that earth sign. So they'll work, and earth and water do work very well together, hence one of the same. You can't have water without earth, right? So this one enables you to access your deepest soul wisdom. So calling on your aquamarine dragon, just to even say hello, because he followed you. So you do have an earth dragon as well that has, it has a place here with you, of course, but this is your dragon. And this dragon has been with you for your 5 incarnations on earth, and possibly your ones before, wherever you incarnated outside of earth. It says spirituality and wisdom are available to you. Develop your psychic abilities and receive ineffable soul knowledge. So inviting that dragon in to guide you and calling it in when you're feeling stuck.
I have to show you something. I'm trying to hold my tongue too because I'm like, "Ah," in my head. Like, I gotta say this. Okay, so I've never watched Aquaman, and I was called to watch it last night. And it wasn't even the first one, it was like either the second or third one. I don't know how many Aquamans there are, but it's talking all about Atlantis. And it's
Yep.
talking about how his brother was trying to destroy the earth. And anyway, I mean, I don't have to rehash the whole story, but I was feeling really like tied to the Lemurian aspect of it, right? And this is, I don't know if you can see this, but Amber, the Dolores Cannon books are from Ozark Publishing. I don't know why I can't.
Yeah. Oh, it's really blurry. I don't know why it's not coming up.
Yeah, you might have to turn off your blurred background to be able to allow it to
Okay,
focus.
here we go. Can you see now?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, coming home to Lemuria. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah, so it's not by the Dolores Cannon, but it is through the Ozark Publishing Group or
yeah.
whatever her company is called. And this lady is talking. I've only gotten through the first like chapter and part of the second chapter, but she's talking about how when Lemuria came, the star beings, because they're so fluid and formless, they came into the water because that was the easiest for them to just like move because it was similar to being, I guess, in the sky. And then eventually over time, in the book, it says eons. It took eons to get to a denser body, like a 3D body, so that they could move on the earth. And so there was like a development there. And so that makes sense to me. And you know what's crazy is that I don't know how to swim, but love I put myself in these like life-altering situations, life-threatening situations because like I was in a rafting accident years ago. This was like over 10 years ago. And I like there was like a helicopter and everything. Like it was in the James River. It was like level 5 rapids, and I don't know how to swim. And I'm like, let's do it, like because I like adventure. And I've had so many instances like that where I've like almost drowned and I don't know why I do it to myself. I can only say it's because I just love being in the water. Like I love water activities. It's just fun. I love it. And in my past life regression, the memory I shared with you about how I was that boy, the first image, because you know she asked me, okay, well look at your feet, like what are you wearing? I wasn't wearing any shoes, but my feet were in the water, like a little brook or creek. And I just remember feeling like so refreshed, like, oh, this feels great. Like it's a nice sunny day and my feet are in the water and it just feels so good. Like I love the water. So it's really weird that I'm an earth sign. My friend, she's a Pisces and we're opposite. And I'm like, I guess that's why we kind of like attracted to each other because she loves hiking and being in like nature forests, but she's a Pisces sign and I'm a Virgo, so I'm like I'm supposed to like love the earth, which I do. I mean, I do. I love a good hike, you know, and all that, just like everyone else. And I've been looking at grounding mats too, because I'm like, I think I need a grounding mat since I don't have like a forest behind me to go like walk in the woods. But yeah, if you guys have any recommendations for a good grounding mat, I'm all
I
about
have
it.
one that a friend of mine actually purchased because she purchased one, and I had heard about this like a couple years ago when I was going to the gym, and I had forgotten about it, and then she brought it up, and I was like, "Ooh," and I was like, "Can you send me?" It's obviously from Amazon, but I was like, "Can you send me the link? That way, it's not just like, oh, grounding mat. Like it's like you actually purchased that one and had an experience with it. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
so, yeah. Anyway, so but she was like, she goes, I used to be super a light sleeper, like a fly is what or something, blinks and she was awake, same as me. And she's
Mhm.
like now, so she actually sleeps on it. And it's not large, like it's you know, I don't know, this. Like go to dimensions. But anyways, and she's like, but she did put it underneath her to sleep. And she goes, she would like feel like it would be like tingly. And then she's like, I literally sleep like a baby. Like you can't even, she goes, my husband leaves to go to work. Normally he kisses me and like I can like feel him and like hear him. And she's like, I don't even wake up. And I was like, oh my God. So a
I
lot of
need,
people I've
I'm a
seen,
light
I continue
sleeper.
to link, but a lot of people they'll put it under their feet, like because if they work from home, or something. I've been looking into this too. It's
Yeah.
interesting that you say you're a Virgo, because so am I, but I'm a September Virgo.
Mm.
And like exactly what you talk about, like the earth, like I'm like that, but then I'm also drawn to water. Like I love hiking, I love being outside. Like if I could just move all my shit outside, if it wasn't for the bugs, I would literally just, I mean, ask Laura, like we've been
Right.
on calls and she's like, I'm like, yeah, I'm on my trampoline outside right now. Like, or like on my front porch, like I'm all about it, but then I'm also extremely drawn to the water as well. So, but I do feel like I used to have this book when I was growing up. I don't remember the name of it, but it would go not just by earth, not just by the sign of like, oh, Virgo, Leo, Libra, but the actual date that you were born. Um, um, and it was so insane, like how wild it was. And like I would have friends that are like, I'm like, what's your date of birth? And um, it was so tailored to like specifically you. And it would talk about you and like in relationships, you as when you're a kid, you as like, all this stuff. And it was so accurate. Um, so I do feel like yeah, we're both Virgos, but I feel like too, like the different months and even the day and like the moon and like the phases and everything also contributes to like to kind of like how we are. Cause
100%.
yeah, what I was gonna say about the whole like purpose thing, I literally my entire life, so I'm 40, I'll be 42 in September. My entire life, I was like searching for my purpose. And I spent 14 years in college off and on, like, doing all these things and nothing. I used to want to be a psychologist. And then, like I did the animal rescue thing, and I'm like, okay, well, but this like can't really bring you money. Like it's not gonna, and so I did that, and then I thought I wanted to do a mom's thing, and then when our last personal development program, I was like, oh, I want to be a life coach, like all this stuff. Um, and everybody's like, well, try different things, and so like I try different things, and I take different classes, and like all this stuff. Understanding psychology. Wow. But and
Yeah.
it's interesting because it wasn't until I got into um like the spiritual side and I really just like let it go
What
um
doesn't it?
that I came upon I had I've had like 3 shamanic healings. Nice. And then I also had a individual reading with like a psychic medium, and they all kind of talked about like shamanism, and then I was really drawn to that, and I was like, this is it. And I don't know, I still don't know exactly what that looks like specifically, but it's interesting like looking back now my whole life, it's been like scattered throughout my life. Like my mom was very much into Native American tradition. Like she had a shaman at one point. She was into like natural healing type stuff, you know, like home remedies and all that stuff. Um and I was always drawn to a connection with animals, which is part of that as well. And like so it's just interesting, and there's things that like looking back now, I'm like you can't explain the way that these things have happened. Um you know, like I have a book about like that talks about different religious traditions, and like shamanism is in there. I have like these other books. I have like these feathers that were made by Native Americans, like all these things, right? That I'm like, I don't know why I have these things, right? Like logically, like I don't know what made me purchase these books, what made me purchase this, what made me do this, like that, you know what I mean? In the logical frame of mind, because I had no clue. I was like, what am I going to do with my life, you know? And so now that I came upon like figuring out what I wanted to do, like it's like it's all the pieces are actually making sense. But I really had to like let it go and know that like it would come to me. And then through various little things like doing the meetup groups, you know, and then I thought I was like, oh, I want to be a psychic, right? The mediumship stuff, which is in with shamanism. It's just I mean, that's all about reading energy and harnessing like, you know, the power of the universe and everything like that. But I was like, here we go, you know, but it was through being open to all the different things that came about in order to to be able to resonate with that which I want to do. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I think I can like recognize throughout my life, like there's always been those moments where I would give like my last dollar to somebody, or the giving people like the clothes off my back because they needed them more than me, or just but seeing that giving them money didn't change their lives, didn't make things better. They were just coming back again and again, needing to borrow more, borrow more. And I was like, I want to help people in a way that is beyond money, because money, like, and that was one thing that I learned like a long time ago, that money doesn't fix the problems. Yes, it can make life easy. Yes, it definitely makes that energy exchange of living a lot easier, if you have dollars to exchange for what you need in life, but there's always been somebody there with what I've needed, without asking, without just knowing that I needed it. And all of a sudden, somebody would be there to help give me a hand up. So that's where I would always, like, if I had the money or whatever, the hand up that I could give, I will give it. I'll still give it, regardless of, my own personal state. And then it was like, but I want to do more. Like, I know there's more that somebody should be able to do to make life easier or better or healthier or something for somebody. Like, and I would hear about those, crazy hippies living in the forest, living off the land. And I'm like, well, I can't see myself ever being that. Hi, that's me today. Um, then, and like the believing and then all the healing properties and talking to trees and doing all the crazy things that I do these days that don't feel crazy anymore because they talk back. And I'm like, well, I know that's not in my head, So I'm like, well, it might be in my head, but because of other reasons, I was sane up until now, so I can't see that flipping that fast. And I feel healthier and better than I ever have. So, and then there's the people that are correlating with me that are in that same space as me that, yeah, I never ever expected to hear or see or to feel any of this stuff. And, here we are together gathering and finding a space together. And in finding that gift of healing and finding that the process that took my own pain away, that changed my life, and just knowing that, oh, this is what this is what I've always been looking for, because like you, I went through so much of my life, like believing that I didn't have a purpose, not being able to have children, not finding a job that really suited me, that I really felt like elevated by, that I was, and even being a nurse, like helping people as a nurse, like didn't feel fulfilling. It felt draining. I'm like, there's got to be something more that I can do for these people rather than shove meds down their throat. Like I can, like I always felt like there was this power within that was just hidden somewhere. And every time I would get close, it was like that survival instinct, that ego, that, whatever would happen to shift the 3D in such a way that I was like, oh, I must have just been losing my mind. Like I'm imagining something bigger than I am or whatever, and carry on in whatever way I was off on that direction that time. So to come into this and like to hear some of like the doubts and like and it's interesting that in some ways that I have like kind of fallen victim to stepping into my own way for allowing like some of the bigger momentum to take place and to step into my stuff. But then at the same time, the first client that was like, oh my God, I've experienced something I've never experienced before, and this is another energy healer. So I want to stay in your energy. Like we need to keep working together. And that panic of, oh, I didn't have anything beyond this point, right? So had everything fallen into place like right away, I could see that fear of being seen all of a sudden like becoming that reality of, if I'm seen, now I have to know what to do next. And now I'm so comfortable in my gifts and what is coming and how to, step forward and to work with somebody beyond and actually, and have all of the rest of the creation happening. Now I know that, okay, well, had everybody that is drawn to me, my beacon, found me right at the beginning, I would have panicked and I would have been gone. Like I'm a Sagittarius, so I run like the wind. Um, I'm here and now I'm gone. I'm here and now I'm gone. So creating that foundation and understanding like the development of the foundation and the stability that I needed to create, and not in like the 3D, but within myself, knowing that I have the space to continue to share my gifts and to elevate and to, to continue to guide beyond just like that first program or that one reading, or, coming outside of that space and actually having that more to contribute and to offer that, like Tom said, that person like that resonated with him completely, that, was like, oh, I have to work with you and nobody else. If you come to that and all of a sudden you're like, but I don't know what to do next. And I know that even probably 3 months ago, I would have been in that space of, I don't know what to do next. And because I mean, it's been a couple of weeks now since I've started working one-on-one with this person. And it was like, I'm like, okay, this is going to be done by intuition, because at this point I'm like, I knew I was in the midst of creating more, but it's in creation mode. So I'm like, if you're game, let's do one-on-one coaching and continue to, develop that next program kind of deal. So so yeah, it's very interesting in looking at like how I was like, oh, there was still some pieces of me. It's like, oh, I'm being punished. Oh, I'm being this. Oh, like, well, this is happening for me, but for me for what? Like, is this more karmic patterns? Like, like what else? What, right? And then as I sat in there and got that first client that was like, I got to work with you further, and I'm like, yes, of course, let's do this, right? Like there was almost a split second of panic that kind of came through, like you don't know what to do. But I've worked so hard on compressing that was like my next step forward. It was like, okay, you know what, you are my next step forward, like let's do this. And and it's going really, really well. It's like this will be week 3, and like it's been absolutely amazing. So yeah, it's just very, very interesting.
It's beautiful. Sorry, I have to hop off, but thank you for sharing. It's beautiful to hear both of you just share where you are now and where you were before, because it gives me some reassurance, clarity, and comfort, because I feel crazy. Like I literally feel crazy. So it's just it's like it's really
Brandon and said, I know I sound crazy. So I totally understand. I'm like, I looked at Brandon, I'm like, I feel crazy.
yeah, like
You're not crazy and you're not alone.
well, sending you much love, both of you.
Yay, love you.
Have a
I'm gonna
wonderful.
send you the link for the grounding mat, and then I guess we'll see. Well, I'll see you later, but I mean, next week, same time, yeah.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Laura, I'll stay on with you.
Okay.
Bye,
Bye.
Ashley.
Bye.
Oh,
What are
I
you?
hate it when my brain does this. Ugh,
Oh, you're
but
good.
it's okay.
You
I'm
send
like,
her that link really fast before I.
oh yeah, absolutely. No, it's just so it's funny. You know, it makes sense. Like you said, the entanglement and talking about the entanglement and how alike we are and how our
Yeah.
energies and seeing, you know, and it feels really good to have Ashley in our space because I mean,
Yeah.
we've worked so hard working together to get, and you know, it's going to be probably faster and more confidently done to help her step up into her next levels in space. So
Yeah, 100%. It's been really good. You want to stop the recording real fast? I want to tell you what we were talking
yes.
about here.
So thanks for being present, everybody. Hope you got some information that helped you out. And we will see you next Tuesday.
Bye.